Okay, welcome back. I'll do an hour of my flow yoga through Focusrite and Salt. Really for all people, beginners, advanced, intermediate. I haven't stretched for a few days now, so I'll feel a bit like a beginner and it'll be quite humbling, I'm sure. Anyway, so let's come into child's pose. So knees nice and wide, hands out in front. So pull, press on back. For now, I'm going to leave my forearms off the floor. Just turn it down a bit. So forearms off the floor, spread the fingers wide. Lay my chest down between my thighs towards the floor. And at these moments, really want to check in. So we just notice how things are feeling. So if I'm going to check in on myself and I'm talking about it, I'll feel it through the middle of my shoulders. I feel this in my hips, incredibly tight today. And a little bit through my insteps of my feet, strangely enough. So I'm going to slow my breathing down. Use that as a way to help bring my head down towards the mat. I'm just going to pull on my tummy just a little bit. It's about 2 notches on a belt. And already I can feel my shoulders relaxing. That discomfort from my feet's gone. My hips still feel tight, but that's expected. But certainly already they do feel a little less uncomfortable. Start my watch as well to record this. Give us an idea of how long we've been. So the whole poses. Go a little further this time. So bring my toes right back to the edge of my mat here. Still knees nice and wide. So when I come to puppy pose, it's quite a bit of a step. Fingertips end of the mat here, so you're quite long through your body. You're not going to get quite as far back over our heels this time. So we're going to bring your body down towards the floor. Still keep the forearms off the floor for now. Get on the mat or as close as you can get down. Bit of pressure on those hands to stop yourself coming down too far too quickly. So now I'm going to soften through my shoulders and allow my forearms to come down now. I'm really pressing my sternum, so the middle of my chest, down towards the floor. So I'm going to feel this right across my shoulder blades, a little bit of my neck, and my thoracic spine, so upper part of the spine. Come up, we'll look to my neck. Now, it may be quite hard on your neck, so you've got to be real careful. Head to the side, and when I come down, placing my left ear towards the floor, and just allowing myself to soften and sink. Now, I would suggest you just stay here and do not press the chest down. If you want more, yeah, go for it. Press that chest down and feel that through across your shoulder blades, maybe into the neck. So be real careful. You can also maybe get a bolster just to put under the head, or even a block. Just put under the head and bring yourself down so we're not putting too much pressure into that neck. Is a nice option. So similar to before as child's pose, soften through those shoulders, relax your hands, chest come down as you can. So puppy pose with that neck turn. It's coming up, change sides, a little bit of time on each side, bring this ear down, let your body come down, relax your forearms, sink your chest as your body allows you to do so. Carefully, we're going to bring these hands back. So we're going to come to a box position. So hands directly on the shoulders and knees under hips. We're going to work through our up cat and our down cat using both your inhale and exhale. Come with me, yeah? So lift up through the back, inhale the breath. Exhale, widen the shoulders, head comes down and pelvis comes forward. So very, very high. Then we go the other way. Belly comes down, inhale the breath. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, tilt the pelvis away and looking out towards the front. So remember, when you're lifting through your back, you're going to bring those shoulder blades apart. You come down, bring it laying your belly down, you're squeezing the shoulder blades together, tilting the pelvis away, looking out towards the front. Up cat, down cat, a really good time to, again, like we did with child's pose, to check in on your back. So you can think about checking in on the muscles of the back, as well as how your spine feels. And we want to ensure that when we're checking in, we're not doing it and then trying to justify the way we're feeling. So remove the feeling. We simply just want to notice how. Checking in. Just remove the justification. Not remove the feeling, remove the justification. So we're not going to say, oh, my back's sore because I'm old, or my back's sore because I'm a man, or whatever story you tell yourself. Just notice those muscles, notice that spine. Listen to your body. For a moment there, a little bit warm in here now. Let's add the compound movement to that up cat and down cat. So we're going to have our backs and wrists on the floor, arms straight, and same deal, up cat and down cat. Now important to keep these arms incredibly straight. Try not to beat them out the side with the elbows. If you're gorilla, try and keep those arms as straight as you can. So really putting pressure into those wrists. Really good for our tendonitis people who have issues with their elbows. tennis elbow. Already helping this one. Yep. You may only get a couple done, and then you can go the other way. So then you backs the hands, so the finger's going to face you, palms down. Same deal, straight arms, and up cat and down cat. Struggling with those hands, just put them back the way they were to begin with, fingers facing forwards, palms down, and carry on with your up cat and down cat. Now back to child's pose, knees nice and wide, hands out the front. I want you to inhale, you come forward into half plank, so inhale to breathe. Exhale, press back. Just those two movements here. So every time you inhale, you come forward into half plank, bring your tummy in. Every time you exhale, you're going to press back into child's pose. So making sure your back is as flat as you can make it. So when we come forward, we're not then going to drop through our pelvis. Keep that body nice and long. Work through your arms, work through your tummy. It's a warming up exercise. So thinking more about the joints of the arms and the legs, or joints of the limbs. So ankles, knees and hips, wrists, elbows and shoulders. Now we're going to put those two together, so both the rocking lunge, rocking up and down cat, and then moving forward and back. So we're going to put it together as what we call a spinal wave. So it does take a little bit of time to get used to it, a little bit of time to perfect it, but see how you go. So have a little look. So from child's pose position, going to inhale, come forward, lifting through the back very high to the top, so tall through here, shoulders to ears. And then you're going to tilt your pelvis, and exhale, press back. Yep. Inhale, come forward, shoulders, ears to shoulders, so nice and tall through the back. Tilt the pelvis, and exhale, press back. Common mistakes, people come forward and immediately drop their pelvis, and then to try and tilt here, it's actually very difficult. You need to be up to allow yourself some time or some space to tilt that pelvis down as you press back, yeah? You'll feel it, yes, so really good for lumbar spine and tummy. And working through that pelvic tilt, so especially in our posture when we stand, we'll make sure we're tilting our pelvis up. We're tilting down here, but up. And we're walking and being tall, we're not sticking our butt out. So getting used to that pelvic tilt, smoothing it out, what we call spinal wave. So how'd you get on? Hopefully you managed to get some more of that pelvic tilt going on. So now we're going to go next tier up, which is harder again, from down dog. It's a much smaller movement through the pelvis, but still sort of momentum we may require. So have a little look, see how you go. If you're struggling with it, come back to child's pose with the spinal wave and forward. So Down dog, feet hips shoulder apart, hands shoulder apart, hips incredibly high. So when it inhales, I come forward again, shoulders to ears nice and tall, keeping my butt as high as I can, and then I'm going to tilt my pelvis and press back. Yeah, so a very subtle tilt. I'll come forward on the balls of my feet, nice and tall through the shoulders and the back, and I tilt my pelvis and press back. Common mistake, same as child's pose. People go forward and drop those hips and try and tilt from here, like in a plank position. That isn't going to happen. You've got to be up, yeah? So again, inhale forward, tilt pelvis, exhale, press back. Let's try and do about 10. Stay on down dog. I'm going to press my heels down towards the floor as best I can, but bearing in mind my legs still aren't quite warm yet, so I'm not going to go too far down. I can really feel this through my limbs already, so glutes and hips, hamstrings, push my chest back to my thighs. It's really important to keep your hips as high as you can, yeah? Don't drop into those hips, keep them high, press your chest back to your thighs. Come on down. I'm going to come to a rocking lunge this time. Just turn this off. It's a rocking lunge. And you can do this with or without blocks. I prefer without blocks. Some of you might need them, I'll show you both. So, a kneeling lunge where this limb tilts back towards me. The knee stays way behind the ankle. If I drop the plumb line down, it'll sit here. We do not want the knee over the ankle, straight up and down, or over the foot. Puts a lot of pressure on the knee, and that's bad for our knees. So make sure when you come into this position, that limb tilts back towards you so you can keep in that nice position, knee away from ankle. So, fingertips in line with ankle or in the middle of the foot. Line with ankle is easier. You inhale, prepare here. Exhale, peel back the toes and press back just where you can, using all your exhale to get back. When you inhale, you should come forward, lifting the chest, that starting position, yeah? So rocking lunge. Every time you exhale, you press back. Every time you inhale, you come on forward. Now it's important also to keep that back as flat as you can make it. Yep, when you're coming forward and while you're pressing back. What some people will tend to do is they round their shoulders and make that back incredibly round. Not cool. We want to keep pressing that chest forward, whether we're coming forward or pressing back to make the back as flat as you can. Yes, it makes it harder, but it's way safer for your back. That's really important, right? Especially if you're like me, you carry lots of injuries. So by managing my injuries carefully, be safe throughout your yoga or whatever activity you have, you're going to have a much better life out of pain and suffering. So some of you might struggle with the hands being here. So what you can do is get a couple of blocks. Hands on the blocks, it just lifts them up a bit higher. Same deal, so come forward, inhale, exhale, press back. So now, being slightly more lifted, it's easier to keep my back nice and flat, be nice and tall, yeah? So nice, easier way to ease yourself into it, yeah? So it's not really about how far you can press back, but as long as you feel that softening and warming up through that hamstring and that glute, that's what we want. This is my good side. My other side, I carry an injury. So my gluteus maximus is quite tight these days. It's okay, I acknowledge that. I'm very careful when I go through certain poses with it. So. Okay, on your next one, pressing backward and stay back. So press back and stay, breathe normally. Keeping that chest forward, keep it back as flat as you can. Just see if you get a little more length. We almost think about the seat bone, pressing the seat bone back to try and straighten this front leg as best you can. It should feel awful. It always feels awful this one here. There's not many poses that go through a warm-up, other than child's pose, that feel really comfortable. There's the benefit of lengthening those limbs, looking after your body, making it more mobile, mobility, and long-term preventing injury. Alright, now come forward and bring your hand to the inside. I'll slide that foot back. Whoa. Wow. Other foot in front. It's the same deal. Make sure the knee sits way behind the ankle. Fingertips, midline of foot or by the ankle. So we'll start again this side. So inhale, prepare. Exhale, press back. Inhale, come forward. Remember, keep pressing that chest forward, so collarbones pressing forward the whole time. Really try and keep that back as flat as you can make it, yeah? So a little bit about me while I'm going through this with you. I do triathlons, and I do the cycling as well, so individuals, so cycling and running and swimming. Currently training for a couple of ultra marathons. So Taupō 100 kilometres ultra marathon in October, and also the Tarawera 160 kilometre in February 2022. I've also got my smaller triathlons, so half Ironmans, Iron Māori, probably do Safa, which is here in Rotorua, and also looking at doing Tauranga as well, Tauranga half Ironman. And of course I teach yoga, and I teach RPM and spin, Pilates, Yoga Lattes. And I also coach. I coach triathletes and runners and cyclists as well. So there's not a lot of time these days. And I work full time, of course, as well. So it's a sales rep. So life is very busy. But life is good too. Next one back on the press back and stay back. Pressing my chest forward, try and make that back as flat as possible. So versus like that when you're rounded, really pressing your chest forward to flatten it. Hand the inside, slide that foot back. I'm going to come to down dog again since I've warmed up the hamstrings, and just notice how better they feel. Hips really high. So I'm going to come on the balls of the feet, press my chest back to my thighs without walking my hands back, chest back to my thighs, and then allow my heels down just towards the floor as my body allows myself to do so. So remarkably better than when we first did it. Still really tight, but that's alright. I acknowledge that. Okay, so I come to some standing poses, so I might have to lift that up a bit. look. Maybe I can see how we go with that. So I'm going to come into a warrior 2 to begin with. Yep. So thinking of a line from the front of your foot down to the middle part of your rear foot, and that foot, the back, is parallel to the edge of the mat. Yep. Got to bend through this knee, and it tracks the outside of the mat. Chest turns. I'm going to flip my arms up and relax through my shoulders. So this is a warrior 2. Note my knee, like before with that rocking lunge, sits behind my front ankle. If it's over that foot or over the toes, it puts a lot of pressure on that knee, and not a good idea. Yeah. Forearm on my thigh, and my arm come over my head. Trying to think of a line from my hand down to the spine foot. So this is extended angle, a bit of pressure on that forearm. My head, I want to look into my armpit, and this top arm draw shoulder down to the socket. So we're going to bring it to our ear and draw it down to the socket of the shoulder, looking up towards the ceiling. Now, you might find this arm gets very tight and sore, so therefore if you do, you'll place the back of the hand on the opposite butt cheek, and then you'll open through your shoulder. So you're still keeping that body nice and square through here, and that body nice and long. Common mistake, people are always falling forward this way here. You need to be in line. So have a little look, see where the chest is. You should be able to see your knee and your foot from here. Not if you're out here, you're looking over that knee. So make sure you're back here or here. So see the angle. If you want to go further, got a couple options. Hand grabs the ankle, just brings your hips down as well. But we don't want to bring our hips up. Make sure that comes down as well as that as well. If you want to go further again, the palm can come down. You're already reaching over top. Today, I'm here. You've got those options if you wish today, take them. Come to my favourite pose, which is triangle pose. So arm line now, back in line with the socket of the shoulder. Hand on the shin. We're going to straighten this leg now. Yep. So we're here. Again, thinking about if that shoulder's getting tight and sore, again, you can place it behind you and bring that shoulder back. This hand here supports your touch. High knee, easy option, down towards the foot, makes it way harder, yeah? And again, top shoulder draws back, shoulder in socket, head in line with the spine, so it hasn't dropped off. We're not scrunching it up here either. Come back into warrior 2, nice and gracefully, so those legs haven't changed other than straightening from the front. Never change sides, so turn that foot, foot parallel with each of the mat, bend to the front knee, it tracks over that little toe, flip the arms up, and then relax the shoulders down to the sockets. coming into extended ankle, forearm on the thigh, arm comes over the head, and line. So fingertips down the foot, one line is ideal here. And you can also take your hand to your ankle towards the floor as well, this one here, or you can stay up here with me. Taking your eye gaze towards your armpit. Again, this top arm, shoulder, down to the socket of the shoulder, yep. Feel that right across the shoulder blade. Make sure the head's in line with the spine, it hasn't dropped off, you're not scrunching it up here either. Okay, drawing the arm in line with the shoulder, hand on the shin, straighten that leg down, in for triangle pose. Remember, towards the knee, easy option, taking the hand down towards the foot becomes the harder option. And again, head in line with the spine. Remember option, if the arm that gets tight and sore, place the back of the hand, opposite butt cheek, and open through the shoulder so you can square through here. Neck back to warrior two. Gracefully, shoulders relax down. Hands come down, heel toe, bring the speed in. Let's do a little bit of balance. So bring the man weight now. Let's have a bit of room. Let's work on a couple of poses. So we'll do flower pose and we'll do dancer's pose. So with flower pose, every limb is bent. So supported leg, which is my left leg, and bend to that supported leg, and lift this other leg up. It's the bend in it. I'll face this way so you can see. And simply going to lean forward, and my arms come forward, palms facing up. Yep. And facing you. Let's see what's happening with my hands. Bend my limb, eye gaze down towards the floor. The thing with balance is to find a point on the floor to focus on. Yep, use all the muscles of that limb, supported limb, with your toes. And if you have to touch down like I did before, touch down, come on up. Change sides, yep. I'll face this way this time. So supporting leg slightly bent, other limb comes back, hands come out in front. Bend through my elbows, bend through my supported limb, bend through my limb that's lifted as well. Gently up. Very nice. Now we come to dancer's pose, a bit like a quad stretch. I'm going to stand on my left leg and I grab the inside of my right foot. Now I place my thumb just on the pad of my foot here. Yep, inside pad of the foot, hand out in front. I face you, I simply draw this limb back as I reach forward, keep my chest tall. Yeah. Come in and change sides. This time I'll do it from the side so you can see a bit more what's going on. Either side of the foot, thumb presses in the pad. I'm going to reach out and lift that thigh. A little more on here so you can see what's going on. Here we go. down. Oh, tough hips. I'm going to come down again. So I'll just spin this around again. Let's see what's going on. Okay. So, body should be quite warm now. We've done some standing poses and done some balance. So now we can really work through our hips. So we'll look at the hip series. I'm going to come into pigeon pose with my right knee, the outside of this mat, and the foot. It's on a 45-degree angle. So we want to avoid having a knee directly in front. So if I faced you, so you can see exactly what I mean. You want your knee and their foot in that line. We do not want to be here. This is not going to work very well for you. We've got to make sure we're out here. Yep. Spin it back. Yep. So, the outside of the mat, foot long behind you. Now, with this foot behind me, I'll press those toes along the floor. Get my pelvis as close to the mat or my foot as I can. Fingertips on floor. We want to be tall. So sink the pelvis down and then lift up the chest nice and tall. And we're gently going to come on down towards the floor. Now if I squeeze my left butt cheek with my butt, I'm going to feel that opening out through my hip. And we're just going to stay here. So we're working through getting our chest on the floor. We'll start with our forearms and we just work through as we can. So if we wanted to go further, we just reach the hands out and bring our chest right down, relaxing down here. Yep. Yep. Otherwise, stay up here with me. Now we can make it even harder from here if we wish. Just thinking this is the harder side for me, but that's okay. Let's work through that harder option. So this time, on a 45-degree angle, if I bring that foot out now, so it's parallel with the front of the mat, yep, puts greater pressure on that hip. And again, we're going to come on down, forearms, and sink that butt down as we can, yeah? So this is quite a step up from where we were before. So maybe from a 45-degree angle, maybe just come a bit more, 60 or 70 versus 90 right away. Now we're trying to soften and sink that pelvis down, chest down as you can, but be really mindful what your body is telling you. Hips get really tight from sitting down too much, and I've been doing a lot of that recently with the COVID-19 being away from work. Level 4, a lot of sitting down doing stuff. So my hips are incredibly tight, plus running and cycling is going to make them tight as well. Coming out of this, so I'm simply going to go into a down dog and bring the other leg forward. So dig toes in, lift thigh, press that foot back, and I'll bring the other limb forward. We'll start the easy one to start with. So knee outside the mat, foot in close to you, 45-degree angle, leg long, press along the floor, get the pelvis down, fingertips on the floor to make that chest incredibly tight, tall versus around here. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, make sure you're nice and tall, or as tall as you can make yourself. Squeeze that butt cheek and then come on forward. So squeezing the right butt cheek, which is the leg that's long, and bring your chest down as you can. Good time to check in, just notice how this side compares to the first side you did. harder for myself. That's what I do. So foot, again, that limb is more parallel now, as much as you can in front of the mat. Oh, far out, size tight. Toes along the floor, lifting tall, and then coming on down. Oh, I haven't done this for a while. This pose is particularly tough. So I've got to focus on my breath. I'm going to try and relax as best I can, as much as it's very, very tight through that left hip. Just digging my toe at the back down so I feel like getting cramp in that foot. Come up out of there. And I'll show you another option we can do with pigeon. We're going to bring our foot in before, so that 45-degree angle. So here, we're going to come down your forearms. We're going to work with what we call the rock and roll pigeon. So you're going to press this butt cheek down towards the floor, inhale, and then exhale, return back to the starting position. So you're rocking and rolling here. So pressing down, and then coming back to the top. I like to use it on breath, so I'm not going too fast or too slowly for that matter. So whatever breathing pattern you've got, I want you to follow it. So inhales, you press the butt cheek down. Exhales, you return by rolling back to the top. Yep. So this is great to, I would think, bring mobility into that hip, other than a static stretch, which is equally, you know, it's good. I think it's good, but I think it's important to do both. Mobility is really important. So I'll probably do about 20 of them normally. I'm not going to do today. We'll change the other side. So I'll do it on that side. Oh, knee. Oh, yes. Neck long. Nice and tall to start with. Come down. Then rock and roll. So inhale, put your butt cheek down. Exhale, turn back to the top. And again, check in on each side. Strangely enough, this is not a bad side, but that just side we just done. Whoa. Really feel the tightness to the hip. I'll do one more. Okay, now come to down dog again. Just notice how better. Oh, so much better than before. Hips feel way looser. The hamstrings are still a little bit tight, but wow, my hips feel way better now. It's always good comparison to do the down dog after you've done a few different exercises to see exactly how you're feeling, how things are progressing. And if not, just be mindful of that. Do not push too far too quickly. Alright, going to come on down. Do some twists. Slide down, then bring legs around. Just see a twist. One leg across. Sole the foot on the floor. And we're going to be nice and tall through our back. We don't want to be leaning back. The leg that's crossed, get the same arm back behind you, fingertips and thumb. Direct the other arm around, out of the waistline, and look over my shoulder. We want to avoid leaning the back like this. We need to be tall through the back, so spine and chest nice and tall, wrap and turn. So the hand at the back is really light. I tend to bend through my elbow, otherwise there's a lot of pressure on my shoulder, so I bend through my elbow, and my shoulder comes down, it has to be much taller. And gently back to the side. So other leg out the front, one comes up, across, sole from the floor. I'll take my hand back behind so you can spine fingertips and thumb. I'm going to wrap my knee, out of my waistline, and then revolve. So you want to think about these shoulders being in parallel. So not bring one shoulder up to here, making sure that shoulder is down, bend through the elbow, lifting out of your waistline. This is simply a seated twist. Yep. It's a closed twist. You're twisting into that limb that's lifted. And come back. We're going to come to the tortoise pose now. So, feet put a long way out in front of you. Good half meter from butt to heels. You're going to bring your tummy back and bring yourself forward. Rounding the back's okay. Come and grabbing those feet, bring your head down towards those ankles. So bring yourself down. So you're going to feel this through the lumbar spine, which is good. That's fine. Bring your chest down as you can, but make sure you're drawing that tummy in to allow yourself to come forward. Otherwise, you're just hinging forward. You want to bring that tummy back, around that body, and bring yourself down. Now, some of you might be able to go a little further. So if you wish to go further, we'll try and bring basically our head down towards your ankles. But you can place your hands, palms down under those ankles, get your forearms down, and use that like a lever to help bring yourself down. You might feel this in your hips as well. So we're going to come to butterfly now. This time I'm going to bring those feet in close as you can. I'm going to grab around the base of those toes. And you're trying to press your knees down towards the floor as best you can. And when they are down as far as you can go, but keeping your back nice and tall, bring yourself forward. We want to avoid shoulders to ears. So shoulders down, chest forward, and then come forward as you can. hamstring stretches, leg out in front. So right leg in out front, left leg tucked in. I'm going to do a couple of strange poses first. So the leg that's long, I'm going to take that same arm behind us. I'm going to place the top of the hand behind me. Yep, so palm faces up. I'm going to try and bring my left ear down towards this limb. So bringing your hand across, grabbing what you can, bring your ear down. So you're looking down your right thigh. You can grab your calf muscle, your ankle, or the edge of your foot, if you can manage it. So placing this back of the hand on the floor, palm facing up, allows you to bring your shoulder down. If you put your palm on the floor, your shoulder seems to lift, so we want to try and keep that shoulder down to allow ourselves to bring ourselves down towards that limb. So it's like a seated twist again, but more so working through your hamstring, your glute, but also your lats of your body, sides of your body, your obliques. We're going to come up. Now we're going to go on the inside, so we'll take that right hand now on the inside of our limb. We can also have it on the outside, it's up to you. Choose to go on the inside of my limb. My other arm is going to be similar shape, so think of a U shape, and we're simply going to come down. This top arm, we're drawing it back behind us, so we don't want to be falling forward. Draw it back, back, back. Now how I get it back is I press this elbow into this arm to help bring this top arm back, back, back. Be aware where your head is. We don't want to be scrunching up, and we don't want to be dropping it off. It needs to be lifted a touch. You'll feel it. If it's feeling sore, you need to lift your head. Yep. So lateral bend, side bend. Yep. So big stretch to the side here, lat, and also that hip. Now we just come straight down. So important to keep that back flat. We do not want to do this and arch the back because the leg is straight. If your leg is bent, you can arch your back, but I want your leg straight. So if you've got naturally tight hamstrings, push the foot forward. That should help relax the limb. Otherwise bring it back, makes it harder for yourself. And leading from the chest, bring yourself down. So it's not about whether you can grab your foot. Grab where you need to keep that limb straight and your back as flat as you can make it. As long as you feel a stretch in that seat bone and your hamstring, that's what we want, doing it well. Come out and change sides. It's other limb, other leg tucked in. So left leg is out in front. I'm going to take my left hand, top of the hand behind me, palm facing up. I'm going to reach around with the other hand and grab what I can. So outer shin, outer ankle, outer foot. I'm just going to bring my right ear down towards the lip. So I'm looking down my left thigh. This arm now comes on the inside of that limb. Other arm's the same, so that U shape first. I'll put it in there, and draw this top arm back, back, back behind me. And keeping the head again, making sure it's along the spine, it hasn't dropped off. You're not scratching up to your shoulder here. touch there, isn't it? Alright, so now we're going straight down. So again, pushing the foot forward will help relax the lymph for your tight hamstrings. Otherwise, if you pull them back, it'll be harder. Leading from the chest, not from the head. Just come on down. Try and keep your back as flat as you can make it. So we want to try and relax this front thigh. And what I tend to do is draw my kneecap up into my thigh, choose my thigh on, and then if I relax my kneecap down, my thigh then relaxes as well. That's really important. I'm trying to work the back part of the leg. I don't want to be working the front part of the leg, which will make it harder for us. Oh yeah, legs a bit of a shake, and do a couple of stretches now for our lumbar spine and the hips again, but it's a cooling phase more than anything else, so it's called supine twisting vine. Let's come to the front of your mats, draw one into your chest and roll down through your spine. Oh. Okay, so if I take my hands down, I can just touch the heels of my feet. That's where I want to be, close to my butt. I'll take them as wide as the mat is beneath me, here, so really, really wide. Arms directly out of shoulders. I'll take an inhale, my breath. Exhale, I'm going to lay on my knees to the left and I'll look to the right. Just kind of feeling it through here, through my thigh, through my hip, through my glute, through my lumbar as well. It's a really good way to finish off our class. So a couple minutes each side. And I'll show you a bit more of it. If you want to go a little bit further, because you're allowing yourself to, you can. Taste this foot on that knee to help pivot, bring it down. If you wish, you don't need to, don't have to. You can do that for a little bit more. I'll slide that foot off now onto the floor. Take my gaze back towards the ceiling. Take an inhale, my breath. Exhale, bring my knees back up. This feet might have moved, so again, gotta make sure close to my butt, still as wide as the back mat is beneath me. Take an inhale, my breath. Exhale, we're going to allow the knees off sway this time and look away from the knees with the gaze. So relaxing through both shoulders. So supine twisting vine for the end. You can, if you wish, take that right foot, place it on your left knee. Help lever it down if you wish.
slide that foot off. So get inhale my breath, exhale, bring my knees and my head back. Can bring your knees to your chest, cross one ankle over the other. A little pause here for a moment. In fact, we might do some circles. So just little circles with the knees. We're going to draw a soccer ball with our knees. We're going to do it on breath. So we inhale for half of the soccer ball, and exhale for the other half of the soccer ball. So you can sort of massage your spine in a lateral motion. I'm going to go back the other way. So thinking about it, so from thoracic spine to hip, to lumbar spine, to hip, to thoracic spine. Should feel really good. Can you keep it slow, using your breath? I'll pause at the top. You can roll over and roll up, or just roll up. And we've done almost an hour. So some simple stretches, a couple of standing poses, some balance as well, and some hip releases. A good all-round flow yoga session from Focus Ride and Soul. Don't forget, have a look at the other videos we've got on YouTube under Ride and Soul to help you out, and I'll probably do a couple of more sessions this week, specifically for my athletes, so my triathletes and my cyclists. So all the best, keep up the good work doing your yoga, and enjoy. Thank you.